Hi, I'm Armeta.
I'm Soheil.
And we are Why Not We Said. And this is our dog Lily. This is our Van June. All right, welcome to inside of our van. As you can see, we kind of can enter to our van from the back door because we don't have any sliding door. So this is where pretty much starts. We have our kitchen at the end of the van, and we have a little steps here where our dog Lily can sit always and kind of like people watching. You have a little hanger here. We used to hang our clothes here. We're not living in our van right now. We kind of have it part-time, but we used to live in it for about a year and a half. So this is where we usually hang stuff, and we used to have boxes underneath here. I used to keep some shoes and some of our groceries, and then we have our kitchen. So we have two kind of cabinets up here. We've got some jars, kind of open up space from the inside. We used to keep our kind of plates, some of our plates here, but mostly food and stuff was here. We had our toiletry over here. Pretty spaces. We pretty much fit everything we owned in our van. And so what else we have? We have our oven here, which is, I made pizza pretty much every single night. It was really good to have this stove and oven. The other thing here that we have is a little bit maybe different is our window, but we have we made a sliding door for it. So at night, it was really good to have this. Nothing would be seen from outside. So this is the window. And daytime we could have a little bit more light. And then we have a really huge drawer. This pretty much kind of held everything we had for our kitchen as pots and anything pretty much. It's very deep, so it got messy, but it did hold it. Yeah. I always get the look from people when I open the door and I come out with Lily, and everyone's like, and I think one time I opened the door and the guy he was like,
I could see his face like, what is it, like the lights were on and the kitchen and everything, like she comes out.
It was so funny. The next thing is our Dometic Fridge. It was it did work for us. It's kind of small, but it really did the job. But we loved it because as the van moves, it really kind of locked very well, and it didn't really didn't make any trouble for us. Underneath here, we also have more space. I usually kept things that I wanted to be a little bit more cool, because it's usually pretty nice and cool down here. Again, I would store some food or anything that I didn't want to be in the cabinets if it gets too hot. I would keep them in there. We have one more storage, which is this one. I pretty much keep all of my spices here because it's very small, but anything as far as little jars and spices was kind of kept here. We have our blender here, which we kind of attached it to the wall so it doesn't move when we drive. So we have this sink, which is pretty deep. I loved it. It really did the job for us. And what I didn't love was this faucet here, and it's we are actually changing it. But then we have our drinking water here, which is separate from our kind of water for washing dishes and everything. Another thing that we have in this section is our little drawer, which is kind of kept all of our cutleries and everything.
We've been using the PILLOWPAK collection both in and when spending time away from the van. The beauty of the PILLOWPAK is that it's designed to pack 3 days worth of stuff plus your pillow. Its 55-liter capacity holds all you need, and the rest of the collection fills in all the gaps. Many people live in a van in order to create freedom for themselves. Sometimes that means packing a bag for a night away from your home or for a backcountry trip. Since adding the whole collection to our tiny home on wheels, our van has been much more organized. We use all the different pieces of the collection in various places in our home. And when it's time to leave the van, it's easy to get packed and gone. Use code VanClan20 to get 20% off your purchase. All links are in the description below.
So after a year, we officially started building.
That took 9 months almost. We did it part-time because we both were working full-time, and we started building it at nights pretty much.
Half of it was done inside the van, parking at the Home Depot.
With door closed.
With door closed, and then I had the fans.
It was crazy.
It was crazy, but then we found a self-storage unit, and they had a drive-in options, and so that speed it helped us to finish it off, basically.
On this side of our van, we have our closet, which it was very necessary for me to have because I have lots of clothes. So we have some shelves here. We kind of mix and match. I use some of it for my clothes and then some of it for other things that we had to store, either was from kitchen or food or anything. But it's pretty deep, so you can fit a lot of things in there. This is pretty much Soheil's closet. That's pretty much all he had in the van. But we use travel bags for storing clothes. I still have some here because we kind of still store some stuff in the van. But yeah, it's pretty nice. And then we have this one right here, which we hang our clothes. So I allow Soheil for a couple of things to hang, but the rest was mine. And it was packed. And one really cool spot is this one down here, because it was pretty deep. We kind of use this space, and we use our heavy kind of duty shoes or extra shoes that we wanted to keep.
The shower, which was the last piece of the puzzle for us, we actually had to finish it off after we moved into our van. Even the waterproofing part, we just didn't have enough time when we moved out of our apartment, and we had to basically run all the plumbing after the kitchen was done. So I had to take out everything and put it back. Our shower basically is waterproof with a foam board, and then we insulate it with red guard, and then use these basically tiles that are waterproof, and then all the edges and everything with silicone. It needs a little work still, but as you can see, there's almost like a this section it's a little higher than the other because the wheels are there, and I had to make some space over there. We have our nature's head toilet here. When we want to take a shower, we take it out.
Our van also got into a certain situation. We had to change our batteries, tires. We had to kind of maintain after almost 2 years. So that was our main goal, to find a place for 6 months and then move back to the van. And we found this house. We can have our van next to us. It has a huge space, even though it's still in the city. Lily has her own space, and we can, if we want to make something in the van, we can do that.
Okay, so for electrical, we basically tried to have two separate sections for our almost like an electric box, I would say. The main is located here, and then we tried to store the batteries somewhere close to it. So right underneath, I have 2 AGM batteries, 140 amp hour, and they're pretty heavy, hoping to replace them, but they're basically stored here. We have also our DC to DC, which is connected to the alternator, located here. I didn't put a door here, so basically they're all tight and neat and tucked in there. This is our main electric box. It's a little messy right now, but and probably a little unusual, but we have our inverter here, which is 1800. We have our solar charge controller, a bunch of stuff. And what I have here is I'm trying to automate some of the electricity and electrical basically components that we have. So you see a bunch of microcontrollers and things that I'm trying to experiment. I found an article on the New Yorker, I think, and it was about van life. I think you told me you're crazy.
Yeah, I thought it's a very crazy idea, but I was like, what? I'm going to tell people I'm going to live in a van. In front of our van, which is our kind of sitting area, and then it turns to the bed, we have lots of storage here. So we kind of made this section a little bit different because we couldn't have a full bed because we didn't want to kind of close the section. So we kind of made this a little bit higher. So we have storage right here, and it repeats on the other side as well. We used to keep all of our beddings here and like towels or anything like that. We try to keep as much as the stuff in both of these closets with things that we don't need all the time because it's kind of not accessible when you're sitting or you're sleeping. So we kind of store bedding for this side, and the other side was kind of like our, if it was summer, we had our winter clothing, and if it was winter, we had our summer clothing on this side. So we didn't have to take it out all the time. And then we have also on the bottom, we have lots of storage on the bottom. We used to keep like big stuff here. On this side, I think Soheil kept most of his tools. He pretty much brought all the tools he needed and even more that he needed. We also use kind of these doors as part of our sitting. So when I want to come and sit, my legs are not hanging and it's very comfortable. We fit about 6 people in this van. And we all kind of sit here very comfortable. We love having people around when there was no COVID. And yeah, it's one of our favorite thing in the van. Even though we don't have the sliding door, and sometimes for lighting is a little bit tough, but we kind of love how much space it gave us. And this is how Lily always uses space. Yeah, I would not do it without her. We would not do it without her. Well, I kind of feel safe, although
I'm the one who wakes her up sometimes if I hear something.
It's really funny. Like, dogs with their hearing is very sensitive. They hear everything. He always 5 seconds sooner than her. So, you know, I don't know. All right, so when we want to turn this section to bed, we have 2 channels here which hold our boards. So we also keep all the extra boards back there. And then it comes and it kind of sits right here. And then we fold the rest. This one also comes down, and we remove the lagoon and it becomes a bed. The other thing that it was total accident, but when we were building the van, before we built these ones down here, we had kind of one of these here. And the other thing is that we also repeated these 2 channels down here. So we could actually make a seat and a table here. And we could have sitting across each other. We've been together for 13 years, so it's the space, and that was not really a problem.
No, we didn't kill each other.
No.
I think.
No, I think I don't know if I could do it without a partner. Let's be honest. You do all the jobs.